Hi, my name is Kiefer Edwards. My video is on the light pollution and birds in Hawaii. What is light pollution and who suffers from it? Pollution generally affects more than a single person or species. Light pollution is no different. Excess light is known to affect people and animals alike by interrupting our circadian rhythm, which is our 24-hour internal clock. Darkness that was once our cue to begin nightly physiological processes has been delayed in response to artificial light. Insects are naturally drawn to light, and this encourages insect-eating animals to follow suit. Sometimes we use light sources to attract and kill these insects, which then affects the available food source for the respective higher trophic level consumers. Some aquatic species have been shown to avoid nesting near underwater light sources. Illuminated harbors, coastal areas, and deep-sea oil rigs might very well be changing these oceanic ecosystems. And similarly, early indications of the effects of light pollution on plants were trees growing near street lamps retaining their leaves longer than normal during seasonal changes. Likewise, near the end of a 4-year study, researchers found that low intensities of LED lighting at night reduced the amount of one species of colonial bentgrass, and hypothesized that while some artificial light might not be intense enough to stimulate photosynthesis, it may well be enough to negatively affect other biological processes. Sources of light pollution is essentially anything that brightens the darkness of the night sky. Artificial light pollution are those that are man-made. This includes TVs, illuminated billboards, transportation, street and porch lights, and even campfires. 80% of the world's population lives under sky glow. In the United States and Europe, 99% of the public can't experience a natural light. Two birds native to Hawaii that have suffered tremendously as a result of light pollution are the ua'u, or the Hawaiian petrel, and the a'o, the Niue's shearwater. Here I included a couple of bird calls of each of them, just for fun, so we could get a feel for what they sound like. So this is the ua'u. And here is the a'o. Some background information. Both birds have high elevation breeding grounds. They usually breed up on the slopes of the volcanoes. They're both highly nocturnal, only leaving nesting locations to feed at night. The ua'u hunts for prey either by swimming on the ocean surface or gathering food while skimming across that surface. The a'o spends most of its life at sea, returning to land for the mating process. But unlike the ua'u, it skims water for food. The a'o dives up to 10 meters or about 35 feet for food. The o'a'u can sleep and fly simultaneously, so they are found thousands of miles offshore. They also have special salt glands that allow them to shed excess salt from their nostrils so that they can safely drink salt water and eat on the go. Their burrows are also used year after year and usually by the same pair of birds. Light pollution. So for these nocturnal birds, artificial light is a source of disorientation, fatigue, injury, and death. When they leave their nests at night to feed, they rely on the moon and the stars in the sky and the reflections on the ocean's surface to guide them towards the open water. Unfortunately, they are attracted to the artificial light and fly inland. Fallout occurs when birds in flight fall to the ground, which generally occurs when they strike objects like streetlights, buildings, telephone poles, or become too tired to keep flying. Grounded birds become vulnerable to human-related accidents and predation to cats, dogs, and mongoose. Furthermore, once grounded, fledglings Birds that are flying for the first time often struggle to get airborne as they require the higher elevations of the mountains to take off. In another study examining nocturnal birds or nocturnal bird flight paths, once these birds fly into illuminated areas, they hesitate to leave it and suffer from the lack of food resources. Nocturnal birds have also been observed to fly in circles around illuminated broadcast towers and other buildings until exhaustion forces them to ground. So here's a short list of what we can do to help fight this light pollution. I'm unsure if I would consider these birds a keystone species because they're typically over the ocean most of their life. But it's no doubt, however, that humans have played a major role in the population decline of these native birds. Humans compete for resources through fishing, displace their natural habitat for urbanization, they introduce predators to the ecosystem, and they litter the skies with hypnotic light pollution. So I think that we should